Hey y'all, it's Stephen Van Kampen-Lewis, and I'm here inside my house. I just watered my indoor collection, which is behind me, and I figured I would give you a quick update on how everything's doing. I don't know, it's been like a month or 6 weeks since the sort of spider mite debacle where I filmed that episode or that video, and I had no idea what was wrong with my phals. I could have sworn that it was the lights were too bright, but that wasn't it at all. It was spider mites, and I guess I just am not familiar maybe with that species of spider mite or how it affected the Phalaenopsis. But once I got rid of the spider mites, everything has really rebounded nicely. So I just want to do a quick update on that and to show you what's going on there. And it's actually, believe it or not, it's a lot of bloom spikes. So a lot of growth, a lot of bloom spikes. It's kind of where I was at last November, where everything looked great, and then everything went downhill. So, you know, those of us who've been growing orchids for a while know that once you cure one problem, it's only a matter of time before the next one starts. So I think I've got the spider mites under control, and will keep an eye out on them in the future. All right, like I mentioned, I just watered, so everything is nice and damp. Everything is, like I said, doing pretty well. So I have this Phalaenopsis here, which is a Bisoniana. Let me get that so you can see it. Bisoniana. It's got two spikes that it's throwing out right now. It's interesting, one of them is like, oh, I hate the light, and the other one's like, I'm gonna go right for it. So plants are weird. This is a newer Cattleya that I've gotten. It should stay small. It's a cross between Trini and Priestons, so I'm hoping it stays that size and I can keep it in the cabinet, but if not, it can go outside. The bulbophyllum here, this is Romei, and this is one of the leaves that got damaged from the spider mites. So this is what bulbophyllum spider mite damage looks like. It's kind of weird. Some of the other leaves have fallen off, but this is the last of the damaged ones. And it's already put out a new leaf, a new growth here and a new one here. And you can see where the spider mite damage occurred on the new growths here and then stopped. So it's kind of a little time stamp almost. And then I have a new growth on this one right here. So this is great. Everything's recovering, growing again. It's nice when your orchids want to live. So this is a Cattleya rex that actually got hit by the mites as well and is coming back nicely. It dropped all its leaves. It freaked out. This is one of the ones that I got from William Green not too long ago, and it has decided that it wants to live after all. Cattleya that's doing nicely. Let's see what else is interesting. I've got my African and Greekoids. This one is Sertorchis crassifolia. This one has always done really well. This one just loves the bright light and the hot conditions. So I'll be looking for a bloom spike on that one here in a little while, probably in a month or so. This one is Orangus punctata. It is not a huge fan of the light, which is why I keep it just above, actually, where the bright light is. This is that one that has really weird flat roots that just absolutely cling more tightly to the mount than any other orchid that I've ever seen. These are my seedlings of a cross that I made. This is Yusuf Niazi by Black Knight, and I made a video about that crossing and then getting it deflasked and having them grow, and you can see that a bunch have gone dormant. So it's annoying. Some are growing like crazy, and some decided to go to sleep. So I'm watering the ones that are still actively growing, and I am letting these other ones get crispy dry. And then once they start growing again, I'll repot them. I think I've got 2 plants per cell, so I'll break them up when I repot them next time. Cattleyas are doing nicely. This little Rex in the back actually got hit by the mites and you can see some of the damage there on one of the older growths. And it's already putting out a new growth. So again, like this other Rex, it's decided that it wants to live, and this is one that is from Peru Flora. I also got that from William Green. And down here we have some more Phalaenopsis. So this one is Bastianii. Gave a cutting of this to Nicole Deanna a while back, and she sent me Phalaenopsis tetraspis. I'll get to that one in a sec, but this one got hit pretty hard by the mites and is throwing out a new growth here, and then 2 keikis on the side. So hopefully I'm going to turn the lemons into mite lemonade, and I'm going to have a little bush as a Phalaenopsis bastianii instead of a single plant. So I'm pretty excited about that. This one is one that I got at Apopka at the members meeting there in April. And you can see I've got a couple blooms already. So this is from Mike Mims at Blue Ridge Orchids. This is some of his breeding. And it's Mituo Princess by Main Show Magic. So actually maybe it's not his breeding. I think that might be a Taiwanese breeder. He does bring in some Taiwanese crosses. And he was really excited about this one, so I am too. It'll stay small, should be fragrant, should be cool. So first bloom coming right there. This is that Tetraspis C1 that I cut from Nicole Deanna, and this old leaf fell off. It had a little bit of damage from the spider mites, but not so much. And now that it's putting out a new growth, a new leaf here, it seems to have discarded its old leaf. So it's starting new, coming back, still holding on to its bloom spike, which never bloomed. The mites took it down before it could really get cranking. This one is Ludemaniana. This was that Cerulean that I had, and it was really beautiful. The mites took a bunch of leaves off, and it's already growing back 2 new leaves in to replace. So this is one that I cut in half, and it's still on there, and then it's got these new growths coming out. This is a Gigabell that also got hit pretty hard. Gigabell, of course, is half Gigantea. Gigantea likes to pout. It's a little more dramatic than some of the other ones. And Bellina is the other half of this cross, and they're a little pouty as well. So this one will take a little while. It's of course stabilized really nicely, and that's kind of all I was hoping for. I was just assuming that stabilization would be good, but instead I'm getting new spikes, tons of new growth. This is the Gigabell that I got from Michael McCarthy a year and a half ago or so, maybe. And again, you can see where the mite damage was on this, and then the new growth is just really picking up. This leaf was affected somewhat, but kept growing, and then now that the mites are gone, it's really grown more, and then it's got this new leaf coming out. This is one that you can see really the mite damage was the most obvious, and it was just killing me. I couldn't figure out what it was, and then I figured out that it was the mites, because it's been growing roots. It's always had these amazing roots, and for these sort of slow growers, having a good root system is critical. So it was just baffling to me that I had, a nice root system, and there's tons coming up out of the meaty here, and then the plant was declining. So this is another Angricoid. This is Mysticidium brabini. Actually, it looks like I forgot to water that one, so I'll get some water on that one after I finish this video. And then this is a cool one. This is a Bulbophyllum fascinator right here. And it's a friend of mine, Charles, makes pots in my Orchid Society. He's actually the president. And he has made some of these pots that sort of leak water out. So basically, if you take an unglazed ceramic pot and then have no holes in the bottom, so you fill it with a little bit of water, it sort of oozes out the side, and it creates these really great mounts. So I've put this Bulbophyllum fascinator on the side. It's had about a month on there maybe. And so it's putting out new roots, as you can see right under there. This newest growth here is nice and fat. The roots are not quite long enough to really support the whole plant, but it is supporting the newest growth nicely. And then I've taken some moss from some of these other, actually from the Pangicula behind it, which had moss growing on it. And I've attached it on, so I'm hoping that it really starts to just become this neon green, moss-covered mount with a cool bulbophyllum fascinator attached to it. And so far it looks pretty good. Actually, some of these moss chunks are taking hold, and so is the plant itself. So yeah, so everything looks good. In fact, better than I thought it would. Things are not just stabilizing, but they're exploding with growth and getting several bloom spikes. So all is well. It's always great to have a problem and then figure out exactly what it is the issue, and then fixing the issue, and then having your plants rebound quickly. And that's just part of anybody who grows orchids or plants or animals or organisms or humans. It's all part of the same process. Anyway, I hope you have a great weekend. Bye.